little bit more sweat resistant than the regular Lightning AirPods. They do have some extra material inside. When someone tore them down, they saw that, but let's find out to what extent that goes. How far up can you drop them from before they break? How much water can you get into them before they die? So let's test the Apple AirPods against life. So probably one of the most common falls you're going to be experiencing with this is pulling them out of your pocket. So it's such a tiny little slippery cube that you're going to drop them from waist high. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. First, in case, in 3, 2, 1. And it's a very light little fall, so the white plastic does scuff pretty easily, but it wipes off for the most part, a little bit left. And without the box, so for whatever reason, if you just had them in your pocket and you pull them out and drop them, they're so light, they bounce. They really bounce. Still working just fine. Alright, so they're still good after a waist height fall. Let's try head height. I don't know why the case would be up at your head, but let's try it out. So the case is up by your head for whatever reason. Let's see how it fares. Ooh, so these guys just jump out. And we do have a nasty scuff now on this. So I can tell you already, this thing scuffs and scratches very easily from drops, so be careful with it if you want to keep the pristine look of it. Can't really get that off. And let's try these guys next from the head. It's very unlikely they'll jump out of your ears. They sit in there very nicely, but for whatever reason, and they jump. All right, so got them over here. Let's put them back in. I can see that the box is still working. All right, I love how fast that connects. All right, still working. As far as the condition goes, can't really say I've noticed any damage. These things are so light that it's hard for them to gain any momentum when hitting the ground. So still good from head height. Let's take it up to 10 feet. Still working pretty good. It's looking a little damaged, but let's go up to 10 feet from the roof here. And dropping down in 3, 2, 1. Oh man, those are projectiles. Okay, some assembly required. So I kind of get the logic behind Apple making them white. When they're white, they're easy to discern off of the ground. Imagine if these were black and you dropped them at night. You would never find them. So, case is still on. Let's see where it dropped. So yeah, impact to leave this brownish, yellowish stain, which is kind of ugly on the case, but the actual AirPods themselves are very clean still, surprisingly. Like I said, they're so light, it's hard to put a scratch on them when they drop. It's like an ant falling from 10 feet. Still going to be just fine and walking away. All right, connecting them. And let's see. They are both still working. Wow, so I gotta say, from a 10-foot fall, the case is still charging them. They're both still working, so against drop, you don't really have much to worry about other than cosmetic imperfections. So very well done, durability-wise, drop-wise, great. All right, so you're doing some construction, you've got these in your ears, and for whatever reason, you do drop them. So 10 feet here, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so we are dropping both of them at the same time, so that way we can get a little bit more of an accurate result. Let's see, damage-wise, even the little silver piece doesn't really scuff. Looks still pretty clean right here. I'm seeing a little scuff. It's not too bad. They still look almost brand new. Connecting to those. They are both still working. They're just like I remember them. Well done. Okay, so drop-wise, give it a big thumbs up. Let's go ahead and test the exposure to liquid by running it through a wash cycle. All right, so probably the #1 situation all of our AirPods are gonna go into is being stuck in the wash. So we're gonna do actually a full cycle, some clothes, all of our regular detergent and everything, just to wash these and see what happens in the case. Just gonna throw them in, it's gonna get in everywhere, trust me. We're gonna see if the case is gonna work after and if these individually will as well. All right, and for some comparison, I'm gonna throw regular earpods in versus these. Let's see which one can manage it. All right, so there's our detergent, our load of dirty clothes, and of course, you forgot these in your pocket. So in they go, and see you guys in 30 minutes. So you can just barely see them over there, and the water is coming, so it is filling up, and they certainly are being exposed to the elements. Alright, so just reached a quick wash, basically 32 minutes. Alright, so got our wired headphones here. Can't tell you how many times I've been here. I think they disappeared to the sock dimension. I seriously cannot find them. Okay. I don't think they're in there. Okay. Here we are. Fully, properly soaked. I can assure you. I'm just going to open them up. Oh my gosh. So the LED is still glowing. So there is a ton of water in here. I can assure you the water did get in here. But the LED is still glowing, so that's a good sign. Okay, I'm not going to try them out before we go ahead and dump them in and dry them out, because that's what you'll want to do when they're in there. You want to dry them. Alright, so quick dry. See you in a little bit. Alright, let's pull these guys out. Man, that makes a ruckus. So I'm going to pull them out and go downstairs where we can get some better lighting. But, oh, they've actually exited their little case. And here's a moment of truth. So first off, oh man, one of the hassles of wired headphones. Wow, this alone has seriously just convinced me to switch. There is sound. Okay. How? What? Okay. So they are a little fuzzy, but it's so close to how they were before they went in the wash, it's almost unbelievable. So listen to this. Sounds good. Now, let's try these guys out. So there's a little bit of moisture in here, just a little bit. But it did dry out for the most part. In these go. And it has accepted them. Okay, so it is connecting to them. Wow! How? After a 30-minute wash, that's a little bit impressive. So, here it is. I'm going to go ahead and put these in my ear and hope not to lose my hearing. Okay, the startup chime was there. These sound just as good. So these have a little fuzz to them. There's nothing in these. So they're still working just as good as before I threw them in. This is still charging them. I'm just a little impressed here. So they survived a full cycle wash in about 32 minutes. And dry, the tumble and everything, all these drops, and they're still working. Only thing I can think of at this point is to submerge them underwater. Let's see how long they survive there. So the sound definitely is there. It does charge, which is amazing. So after a wash, they still work. So let's take it up a notch and go into a foot of water. First off, do these things float? And let's sink them down and see if they'll still work after what, like 5 minutes submerged. So in the case, does this thing float? No, it does not. It sinks like a rock, actually. So I want to open them up to make sure they are exposed, and they're off. So bubbles sneaking in there. No light. I'm going to try and turn it on. So the button does not work underwater, and I will pull them out. So individually they are very light, but they still do sink. Off you go. The magnets in here are pretty strong. Okay, let's leave it for like 5 minutes and see what works and what doesn't. So we got a good amount of water in there, as you can see. That's a good foot. I'm hoping they'll survive, but being underwater is a whole different experience versus tumbling around in a washing machine. So funny thing is, they are still connected. So I want to go ahead and play some music. Let's see if any bubbles come up. Oh, they are playing. Oh my gosh. You can very, very subtly feel it on the top of the water here. That's cool. So still connected and playing a foot underwater. Time is up, so let's see for the final test if these things have survived. That's a quick 5 minutes underwater. I want to go ahead and dry these off. Okay, so quick dry off. They don't actually absorb that much water. The grills aren't really letting go of any water. So, oh wow, so it's activating Siri over here while I'm tapping them. So that tells me that they have survived. Plugging it into power. Oh, I do get a light here. And they just connected to this. So, do they still work? That is the real question here. Okay, so I do hear audio. I'm going to go ahead and put them in. That's ridiculous. Okay, so these are both still working perfectly. I'm going to turn the sound up on both so you guys can hear. They are still working. That's amazing. So everything is working. The actual case is working. They're working. I'm a bit surprised. It survived a day in my life through submersion, a washing machine, and drops. Now, are you guys going to get the same results? I really can't say. From my point of view, these things are incredibly durable, but I'm not saying you should be swimming with these or subjecting them to all of these things. That's just my experience with them, and they did incredibly well for what I put them through. So I gotta say, well done, Apple. On the durability front, great, 2 thumbs up. Be sure to check out my review, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Take care of your AirPods. Don't treat them like I did. These things are too good for what I did.